All right, how's it going, everybody? Good morning. Okay, gotta clear out the old throat. Okay, so and I'll say it a bunch of times, or a bunch of times. Times. We're going to do some character design today. I'll also show an update on where we ended up with the colors and stuff on the last pinups or the last few streams. But before we get into that, there's two things we're gonna do. First, a quick overview of what I'm doing with this. This is so in the 90s, I think it was up to the 70s, maybe the 80s. I don't know my whole color history for comics, but they only used specific colors that you could blend with other colors for a limited palette that they could use. This usually led to quicker turnarounds, as well as you could get a better cost, how much it would cost to make a book. And a lot of times, a lot of comics use just similar colors to keep that cost down. All that to say is lovely people online have created swatches, which you can see here on the left. And all a swatch is, for those that don't know, is it's a color that you can save. That way you don't always have to open up the color picker to try to pick that color. And what's really good about color swatches, I only really use it in JESOP King, because if it's the same characters over and over again, you can just pick the color that they are, as opposed to always trying to refine it, right? Nothing new there. The problem I was having in here, let me just bring this out to show you guys. The problem I was having is right here. So it's there's two kinds here you can get. I have them on my Patreon, the 128 color one. But you could totally get that for free. This, what we're going to end up doing, I'm going to put on Patreon too. I think there's a little extra value, and I'll explain why for that. But if you guys want, I could try to find online. I'm okay. One second. Let me just try something here with the audio. Oh, here we go. Okay. Something was wrong with my audio, so there's a good chunk of stuff there that wasn't recorded. Okay, let me try to quickly sum up what the hell I was saying there. So we're gonna do a couple things today. One is this color wheel you'll see in the background. I'll explain what we're doing again with that. I'll also show you guys the wrapped up color versions of the pinups we did in the previous streams, as well as a quick plug for two things that you guys might want to check out. And then we're going to get into the character design stuff that's for clients, and we'll see how the day's going from there. Okay, so before we get into the plugging, just real quick, what we're going to jump back to after that is I know this looks a little all over the place, but so back in the day when they did comics, there were specific colors you could use. I believe I'm not like a art history guy with comics here, just some articles I was reading. Most stuff was done with like a watercolor style base or a water ink kind of thing, and or colored ink sort of thing, and you could only get a certain amount of colors. I believe like the Kirby early stuff, right here would have been these colors, 63 colors that you could blend into things, and you'll see like a good example is this blue, right? These are the shades of blue you could get by adding, like just a little bit of blue, and then you get more. Eventually, we went up to 128. Now you were able to get a fourth color, but those fourth colors allowed you to mix with other things. Hey Nimrod, how's it going? Mix with other things to get more ranges and all that cool stuff. Now, getting ahead of myself, I'll talk about this, but I do have this on Patreon. You can get this for free other places. I can try to quickly look online if you guys are interested, and I'll post that in the chat. If you're interested in swatches, they are for Photoshop, but in Clip Studio you can import Photoshop swatches, so it's not a huge deal. The one cool thing about these swatches is if you mouse over it, you see it's saying like Y4, Y3. This means yellow, right? So they used to color code things back in the day by using these words and tags next to them. Tags would be an easy way of saying it. But what's cool about these swatches is you can mouse over it and you can still see, right? So they get this color, it's yellow 3, blue 3, and it'll create that. Now, I like this. And when we go forward with Godslayer, I would like to recreate most of the 90s aesthetic as much as I can. I know digital coloring and stuff nowadays it's great, but it adds time. And I also like that old actiony feel from the 90s sort of thing. I'll bring up a couple pieces actually right now. That, like, just to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about, because I feel like some people may not have actually read comics in the 90s, or you look at it and you might not like it, which is totally fine. I was rereading a lot of John Romita Jr. a few weeks back, and a lot of the art here, let me just bring it up here. So this is what I'm talking about, this kind of thing. Not necessarily the art, right? But do you see how it's just color fills? It's flats, you would say, right? There's no gradient, there's no blending into anything else. It's just, this is the color, move on to the next one. I guess we can just kind of scroll through here. Anybody that's kind of, if you guys are around my age, you know what I'm talking about. And it's very interesting to draw this way. But one of the reasons I do dig it is its speed for sure, but it also, in my opinion, helps really push clear storytelling. And it's a lot more difficult than it actually looks. You know, like picking the colors that you're going to want to have in here. It's going to take some practice and stuff. Like up here, this Quinjet flying, or this X-Men jet. I'm pretty sure it's a Quinjet. Or no, Quinjet's Avengers. I don't know what that was called. Black. It's not the. It's the Blackbird. But you see how it goes blue, and then it goes into like this weird cream, and then yellow, orange, white. Like it's getting hot, and then the transition color. That's the kind of stuff that's going to be difficult to do, because my brain's not wired to do it that way. Even here, like this mountainside cliff, it's all brown, and then he put in a little reddish brown just to like highlight it. But it kind of feels like, why wouldn't he have the color? So why wouldn't he have done that more in other areas, right? So it's exciting to go there to try this. So that just ties it into this here, okay? Hey, Mechaside, welcome. Is it Mechaside? Mechaside, welcome, brother. So when you got a whole giant thing of swatches, my brain doesn't do this well. Like, I can't process. Some of you guys might not need what I'm about to do, or what we're going to do, and it's going to be very boring to watch. There's quite a few colors left, but I'm just going to show you how I tackle it. So let's get this back over here. Okay, so here's the color wheel in the middle. I just copied my screen and pasted a giant color wheel in the back. So what I'm trying to do is, I work better with like a color wheel. And what we won't do, because this will be extra boring, is all I'm trying to do, and I'll show you an example, is, so we'll say like this cream color. Let me just make sure this shows up on stream here. Yeah, we're good. So we're going to pick this left color here, right? So when I pick it, the color wheel is going to show me where that is. So I'm just going to go up here to the select layer, because I have each one of these colors, these swatches, it's its own cube, so it's a little bit easier. So I'm just going to select that, and then we're going to move it basically where this outer ring is showing us, not the hue, saturate, or like the value part of it. Right, so all I'm doing is I'm kind of just going up here. And what this is letting me do is, it's letting me, it's showing me where all these swatches would be placed on a color wheel. Why that's important is because, like, when we start coloring, if I got like a red character, right, I can pick some of the red swatches, and I might want a complementary color, right? And I could go across and go, okay, it's blue, blue, green. But when I'm looking at like a wave of just color, it's hard for me to go which ones match. So I'm hoping this will help a little bit alleviate that. The next step, and that's all I'm going to do with you guys real quick, to go through these. And the reason I'm showing you guys that is, this might be valuable for other people that have swatches, and you might be trying to do the same thing where you're trying to place things on a wheel, just so you can start making color harmonies and picking it that way, if that works for you. What I won't be doing, again, like I said, like that color we just put, like how desaturated that is, I'm going to group these things, and I'm going to, at another time, not with you guys, later today, is put them so it's like, here's the desaturated to the pure saturated version, okay? And that's going to help me a lot going forward, especially with Godslayer, but also with the character design we'll do today. It's going to help me pick colors, and you'll see that. And we're going right from the ground up with the character design stuff. So that'll probably be in about 20 minutes, I would say. So if you guys dig it, okay. So let's do in some. Yikes. Let's do some quick plugs for you guys. friend of mine. I consider him a friend anyway. And I talk about all the time is Freddie Williams. He actually posted a tweet. I think it was a tweet. I saw it on Facebook and Instagram. So I just wanted to return the favor and show you guys kind of what he was talking about, and if you're interested in it. If you guys have been following me at any period of time, you guys see how I generally draw. I don't think we'll be doing that moving forward with this next project, but with client work and stuff, sometimes it works really well. I got that work method from Freddie Williams, and if you were interested in buying the, we call them action packs. He originally made it, and since I've been doing a lot of Clip Studio, I just repurposed a lot of those, and you can buy them. And what they are is they're right here too. I'm not going to get into a whole shebang about it. You guys will see it as we go. So it says action pack here. All these things right here. So this could be just a quick hotkey to make a layer. You guys will see me do that thing where I get like a big fat black line and press a button and it turns into, it looks like line art, like it's white with black outline. Very quick things. So go to Freddie's website called freddyart.com, and on the left here there's DigiArt Quick Tools. Click that. A lot of other things here that are really nice. If you want it for Photoshop, the original one that Freddie made, it's right here, this action pack, right? And he's got a little video showing you how to install it and all the cool stuff. If you want the Clip Studio one, the one that I made, you can go up to the top here. It'll just say new action pack, Clip Studio, Manga Studio. And it's very similar, right? Goes through all the stuff, and then there's a link to a video on mine. And I use JESOP King as the artwork there because the whole process of JESOP King was done using that method as well. And the last quick plug I'll give you guys is the actual book, or the pinup, so we just finished, and I'll show you how they turned out, is now up on Kickstarter, so Galaxies in Peril. There's a video you can check out too if you're interested. Sharing it would be awesome. For total transparency here, I was just hired to do the artwork. I'll be hired to do extra artwork, so I'm not getting like a cut of this, but it is helping me get future work. So if you guys are cool, or if you wouldn't mind if you could share it around, that'd be awesome. If not, that's fine too. Maybe pick it up if you're interested in it. There's a whole bunch of description about it, and there's some artwork and stuff that we were doing that are put in there. I believe the new artwork's going to be coming up in time. I don't know if he's put them up just yet, but yeah, we got some stretch goals as well. But this is Kyle Simmons. He's the one that's running that. I just want to be open with you guys. What I'm doing is just the actual artwork. It's not the, I didn't come up with the how to play the game and all that stuff. And I'll answer you guys' questions in one sec. Just let me pull these ones up here. Where are you? HD. There we go. Okay. So, bring her over here. So we wrap this one up. We got this guy transferring the energy or whatever, the essence, into the other dude. Wrap this one up. It's the firefighter character hanging somebody upside down. You know, like a Batman style character. This one, I would say this one's the weakest one of what I did. It's very busy. And there's a lot of things I was learning as I was coloring this. And it kind of leads me into why working in flats I think is going to help me go forward with a lot of just special effects in particular. One of the things is I love Kirby dots a lot. How to handle them is something that's different. I find when I'm looking at and trying to do the stuff with the old flat stuff, the simple colors where there's no gradients, there's no blurs, there's no special effects, I can get something that works really well. But when I mix it with like blend modes and stuff like that, I feel like they don't really like they stand out in a really odd way. I'm not sure if it's just changing the color of them or what, but it's something to that I'm going to definitely work on. We got this one here, the guy floating in a crystal over the city. And then the last one here was, I say it's like the Captain America type chick. She doesn't normally have a shield, but in this one it really just highlights it. She's defending some protesters outside of a city hall. And we got some riot police down there. So those are all wrapped up. We got them done. A lot of fun. Rebecca, welcome. You're all welcome, brother. I was hoping you'd get a cut, but no, that's fine. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not in it to get a cut. I would say, well, maybe some people are. Probably a lot of people are in it for a cut if you can get it. But usually in the wide world of, sorry, I just got to remove here because I'm not drawing here. I'm just going to be color picking. In the wide world of freelance artwork, oops. or production artwork, I would say, you are just a means to an end in a good way, right? Like everybody needs art. Without art, nobody's gonna really. I don't want to say nobody, but it's a little hard to sell a product without visuals. So we all have our place in this whole thing. The problem is, right, or not, maybe not the problem, but you know, like in this case, Kyle, he's done a lot of hard work. He's figured that game out. He's figured it all stuff. I'm just being brought on after to do make it look pretty, make the text. It's like you know, comics is a great example too. If you just got a script, have you guys ever seen a comic script? That shit is boring. Have you ever written one? Ugh. Sucks. I don't enjoy it. I don't like reading scripts either. I like reading books from time to time, but I don't like reading comic scripts. But that's the point, right? You get the artists on there, the colorists and all the good stuff, and you make those words interesting, make people want to stick around. That's our job. So yeah, it would be nice to get a cut, obviously, because without the art, can't do it. But on the flip side, right? Like I didn't come up with the thing. I'm just doing the pretty pictures. Man, there's a good example here. You see all down here on the right? Look at all this color that's blue, man. Whew. That's a lot of blue. I'm trying to go as quickly as I can here so we can get into some actual drawing. Totally could have did this off camera, but I thought, you guys can let me know. I thought there'd be a little bit of, you guys might have gotten something out of this. I've done something like this before with color swatches. Nothing is, I'd say, complicated as this. Like there's a lot of swatches in this, so there's a lot of color going on. But I just can't wrap my head around using, like, on the right here. I can't, like, as a good example here, you can see me highlighting on the right. There's like these browns, yellows, and greens, and like this 3x3. They're like orange and yellow and green, but like, and they look that way because they're next to certain colors. But if I pick this color here in the middle and put it next to like a bright yellow, it changes dramatically how it looks, right? And I know that's just color, but man, it's very hard to just color pick. And if you guys go back to a couple of videos ago, even when we were doing Godslayer stuff, the fun little sketches we were doing, I think that would have been, I don't know, last week or something, or the week before. There's a lot of, because I can't work well with it, there's a lot of just picking color, filling an area. Pick a color, filling, and then trying to find harmonies within like swatches is, I imagine if you were a colorist, or if you've worked with color, especially in paint, and you understand the color wheel in and out, probably not a problem for you. But I still struggle with, like, oh man, I'm really bad with tertiary, complementary. Like I know the concepts, but when it gets down to actually doing the work, sometimes I'm like, oh, I forget what that even means. I don't consider myself a colorist. I just pick colors, and luckily other people don't mind how crappy they look. So that's good. Nimrod saying, shit, he hasn't gotten the first book. Don't worry about it, brother. I mean, I think, yeah, we talked the other day there, and it's cool to have things I've done, and I appreciate that for sure. But I would argue too, if you're just getting it because I drew it, that's very nice. I'm not even sure. I haven't even looked at the prices of how much they are, to be honest. But I would argue if you're not gonna play it, I don't know. Maybe that's not the right way to say it. Because I've bought Dungeons and Dragons books, just for like monster manuals and stuff, just to jog the mind for ideas and stuff like that. You're saying, as a colorblind, what unholy ritual is this? So what does this look like actually if you're colorblind? On your screen right now, what's the colors you're seeing? I feel like until this disappears off the screen, people are going to keep asking about it, which is fine. I'm taking, if you look on the right, all these are the Marvel color swatches that were used. I'm just going to keep saying 90s, but I believe it was all the way up to the 80s. I could be wrong. Or maybe even the 70s too. And what I'm trying to do is I'm turning it into how they would be applied on a color wheel. So when we go into the character design and also moving forward with Godslayer at least, I would like to try to just get this into the workflow. I have a vision in my mind of where I would like the art style to go, especially after talking with you guys. And thank you too for the food for thought you guys gave me and all that cool stuff. The isolation stuff. Isolated quarantine. It's really given me a chance to re-listen and go back into some of my older habits. I told Elena, like, you're going to hear me talk a lot about Gary Vee. You guys will too, so buckle in, especially if you don't like him. It's going to be a lot of things that are just like, over and over again. But there's a lot of the stuff he would say, and sometimes you just got to hear it at certain times in your life, I think, for it to kick in. And the example, man, look at all the blue swatches. Wow. A lot of blue and reds. It's very interesting. A lot of what he was saying was like, if you're on you guys have heard this, but if you're on your deathbed, this is in context of, let's say, we'll use me as an example, the style. What does my art look like? That whole woe is me stuff that I just can't get over. And I've come to the conclusion that, one second. I don't know if I heard a cat trying to get in. But I've come to the conclusion that, for me, I just like different art too much, and I like to draw in too many different styles all the time to just say, this is it permanently. It's never going to stick. So let's just move along, and let's just keep making things, because that's what we want to be doing. Keep making things, right? So if I have an idea of like a style or a look that might work well with an idea I'm doing, let's just do that. Just shut up, do it, move on, right? Is there another one in there that I can't see? So I got sun coming in here, so you do not want sun on your screen when you're working with color, I'll tell you that. Anyway, so with that excuse out of the way, one of the things Gary was saying was like, if you're on your deathbed, and these editors or these people that you think like their opinion matters to you, right? And for me, it would be like, well, I don't know if, like, I know I can draw in a certain way, so when I approach this Kirby Bruce Timm kind of style that we'll be doing Godslayer in, like, people might look at it and go like they know I could draw better or different. Why am I not doing that? And it's just appealing to people. I don't want to say people that don't matter, but people that don't matter in the context of what I'm doing. So when you're on your deathbed, is their opinion going to matter at all to you then? The answer is always going to be no. So then if it's not going to worry, if it doesn't matter then, why does it matter now, right? Just very clean, quick advice that we all heard. And sometimes, like I say, it's not just when you hear it, it's who you hear it by or from. So I don't know. I'm just riding that train right now, and we're just going in and getting it. And again, these swatches I just can't work with. Not the way they are. 1 second. There's the cat I was waiting for. JESOP wants him back in. Come on, buddy. You coming in, Jojo? Come on. You want to come sit on the chair? Zelda's in here too. She got the good spot. You're busy eating. Here, you want coming up? There you go. Okay. Under the desk you go. Duck. No. Here. Duck. You're going to lose your head, buddy. Duck. There you go. You've got the, what? Red-green color blindness. Basically, some of the colors look the same. Red-green. Okay, so can you see yellow? Or is that all messed up too? Here, buddy, you can't stay there. Here. Come on. There you go. I'm sorry to hear that too, man. I honestly feel for people that are colorblind. I had a coworker that was the same way. I don't know. I think his was blues and greens or something like that. I could have been wrong. Stop. My cat's trying to eat my headset. So if the audio dies, that's why, okay? What do we got here? John, is there any courses in business for comic book artists or any artists? I look at Jim Lee and he seems to have a good business sense. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine follow Jim Lee's. I would say, yeah, a really good guy to listen to. And Todd McFarlane. Although I don't know if he really talks about comics. I feel like Todd talks about like comics more in terms of a means to an end, I suppose. I would bundle, and if that's the case, I bundle up that with kind of what I'm doing. I don't think comics are the greatest creation ever, but what I do love about comics, especially if you're a creative, is you're able to, and you like being a storyteller, you're able to do that all by yourself. You don't necessarily need a team. They'll help, speed it along. That's great. That kind of thing. So there's no real business sense, I suppose. There's no advice that I just gave for that. Yeah, so any of the image guys, Eric Larson, I think might be a good guy to listen to. Liefeld as well. I mean, the guy, even you want to listen to how to deal with criticism. I mean, that guy gets the worst. I like his art, but if he survived this long, there's got to be some ins and outs. But I don't know. I would look at it more along the lines of like just art in general. I think if you just stick with just comics, I don't want to say you're limiting yourself because you might not, but your potential, maybe income or actual business. Jessup, come on, buddy. I don't know if you'll get as much as you could have just by trying some other things as well. But maybe just comics is all you want to do, so it doesn't even matter. Man, cat hair now. God. Actually, you could reach out to Will as well, Will Robson. I know he was in here the other day. That he's doing full-time comics right now too, right? And I can tell you right now through private conversations we've had that he has worked on non-comic book things. I don't know if since he's worked at Marvel, but before that, while he was still trying to, make it, we'll say, he was trying other things. So, yeah, check out those guys. Will might be a great guy to reach out to because you know him. And he's a nice guy too, right? He's usually I don't know. Will's pretty much an open book, especially the more you get to know him. What's one piece of art? What's the one piece of art would you do to sum up your time on Earth? What's the one piece of art? Do you mean like something I've done or like something I would do? Like a picture I've done or something? Euro, it's hard to explain what I see. It's all good as long as the colors are bright and saturated. When you start dealing with shades and mixing, it's bad. Thank God we have color pick. Absolutely, dude. And a lot of modern art too, especially modern like Marvel comics. And I'm not digging any of that. I don't mean like jabbing it might be a better way. I do like a lot of it because we're starting to get, or we have, I should say, like actual not color theory might not be the right way of saying it, but a lot of things in comics now they're like desaturated and grays, like grays mixed in and stuff, and you can see they're kind of here. There's a lot of it looks like there's a lot of gray in this color wheel. Here's an example. Here I'll show you guys. You guys, Euro. I don't think you'll see it, but so you see this color right here. Watch when I move it over to the red. Boom! Now it's green, right? Now we move it down here to blue. It's starting to look a little yellow. Starting to look more yellow over here, right? So on right here, it's like this really desaturated yellow. You go over here, it looks like a desaturated green. Now it's really like a nice light green. So do you see what I'm saying? This is the problem with color. Up here, it just looks gray. So what it's around, that's the color theory part. That's what's, like you really want to talk about color. That's really how color works. It's not always just, okay, what colors play well together? In the terms of like, does red go with blue? Does red go with green? Which is the right way to do it? That kind of thing. Which again highlights sort of like what I'm trying to do here is for me going forward with what I would like to do with this stuff, I need this in context. I can't just use a swatch. And this takes, this is quite a bit of time. It's not fun. This isn't fun. This is what I consider like the work part of art. But man, once we're done this, every piece going forward, yeah. I'm hoping anyways good. Or at least within a vision of a direction, an art direction I would like to go. And like I said earlier, I know there's some people that are always popping in and out, in and out. If you're a patron of mine, thank you so much. I do appreciate the support, especially now. I will be posting this, I hope today. I want to give it a little trial run today when we're doing some character design before I post it, just to make sure it's doing what I'm intending it to do. And I'm hoping those of you that are interested in this as well, you guys can give this a shot. Where's this one? Down here. Alright, now these grays, I don't think... You know what? Let's just put the grays somewhere over here. Alright, so we're done. Thank God. Let me just get my color wheel back to where it's supposed to be. And I'm just going to quickly... I think they're actually these ones. One second, you guys. So let me select these layers. I'm just going to put them... Sure, let's put them up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab them. So these grays, I don't think... Yeah, see, they're kind of tinted blue a little bit, and then it goes into the red. But for purposes of what I'm doing, I'm looking just for, like, if I wanted something gray, I'd pick one of these. But the other ones are up here. So, real quick, if I turn off the wheel, just so you guys can see this, right? Oh, also, I should point out, too, I had this. This was the first version I was doing. This is, like, a legit color wheel. And I learned this last night, so you guys might get some... most of you might even know this if you're in a color. I'm learning things all the time about color. But, and this actually helped me. So this color wheel, think of it like this, okay? So imagine there's like this horizon line right across the middle, okay? Like it's the literal horizon line. As storytellers, I think this actually helped me realize and visualize things in my head a little bit better. So yellow is the sun, right? And everything above that line is like, let's say the light world, if you're into video games, or just daytime. So blue, orange, and mid-orange, those could be in the daytime. The opposite is violet, is like pure darkness, and the underworld, and the dark world, the red, the purple, right? That kind of stuff. And as the sun goes around, right, it goes whatever the hell. So purple, and I always thought it was like blue. Like if you look on the color wheels over here, like blue and purple, and I think this is an RGB thing, like a digital thing, where it's like these colors, there's a lot of them, but they mix really poorly. Same with red into like purple. Like purple's just a little sliver when you think about it, but you get like, look at all the purples over here that we got, right? Anyway, so this is a good way to just visualize what the hell's going on. So if I was to just use a color wheel, right, like it would look something like this. And what this lets me do is I can just kind of go in here and actually just let me move this one here so I can see some of the color there, the one behind it, right? So if I wanted to pick a color, I could go in here and I could just go, okay, that's the orange that I wanted. But the next step I'm going to do, you guys won't have to sit through this, is like I said, see if I can get these in a range of tint. So like the least saturated one, like this looks like gray right here that I'm mousing on, right? That would be probably at the beginning, and then the end would be like a really dark saturated one. So that way we can pick to help value. But again, check this out, just for fun. So we got this gray looking thing. As you move it around, it actually changes its color. Let me just eyedropper it so you guys can see it. Like it's up here, right? Like this desaturated orange. If you bring in that color wheel again, check it out. All right, that gray. Look at up at the top, it almost looks red, maybe a little purple. You go over here near blue, it's starting to get more into the orange because it's the complementary, right? Go into the purple, it just looks almost white. Very light, shitty gray. But anyway, so that's that. All right. So let's change the canvas size. Yes, please. Don't need all this extra crap. Okay, we're going to go here. Okay, let me save it. And I'm actually going to turn the color wheel off. So when we do use this, there we go. Make a new file. It's time to draw. PJ, welcome. Nimrod, sorry. No, just the quote. You were dying. What would you be? What would be the story / song you had to tell the world? Oh, I see what you're saying. You're adding to it, adding a point to what it is. You're totally right. If this was it, what's the thing? What's that last thing you were gonna do? I hope I'm still streaming. I think I. 1 second, you guys. I exited YouTube, so I can't see what you guys are saying. Oh no. So let me find it 1 second. Where is YouTube Studio? That's what I want. Important due to no, okay, I don't care about this COVID stuff. It's everywhere. 1 second. Where'd you guys go? Upload. I think if I click go live, it'll just bring me back to where we were. There you are. Yay. Okay. We got everybody. Hey, Paul. How's it going? Morning, PJ. Okay. So let's draw. Let me quickly. I know I keep saying this. Let me quickly. I have to see what we're doing designs for first. And these cats were from Twitter. When I made a quick tweet about the lovely COVID that we're going through right now. So stupid. That because of that, and I'm not saying this in a way for sympathy or empathy or anything like that, it's just facts, is I was laid off. Sounding like it might be temporary, but we'll see, right? I don't like to play in ifs, wins, maybes, should-haves kind of thing. It's black or white, and I know gray exists, but black and white is all I'm really caring about. So currently, I need to be working to make sure that I've got money coming in. If it's not now, it's the stuff I'm doing now could slingshot, I hope, into something else as well. So I reached out on Twitter. I was just saying, letting people know, more so that I'm just looking for work. I don't need work from sympathy. Like I say, I'm not, here, like a couple of people did reach out saying, here's, how much is it for this? I'll pay for that. And I would say, please don't do that. I'd rather you give that money to another artist that needs it. I'm okay right now. But the point of what I was trying to get across with that was I'm available for work. I hope there's a difference there that you guys can see. So anyway, a couple people actually, they asked for some character designs. And I'll show them with you guys because I figure, what the hell, you guys might dig this. Well, I know you'll dig it. I know a lot of people like doing character design, at least where I go with some of this stuff. And I kind of have a template that I like to do, but we'll start right from the scratch. We'll start right from the scratch. First thing we need to do is this document's probably overkill, but this is the artboard I'm trying to continually use. And we will go ahead and we are going to... 1 second. We have to name our file. Okay, you coming in, buddy? You can't keep jumping all over the computer, okay? If you want, you're over here. Come on. All right, so we'll name it. How do they spell it? There we go. We need a file location here. Somewhere, I don't know where it's making it. 1 second. Come on, JESOP. You're killing me here, buddy. Come on. feel like this is going to be a problem today. These cats are getting stir crazy with everybody else. Okay, so we're going to go okay. Let me just save it up here as well into a location here. Alright, good to go. Let's get our color proper here. Alright, now, so what they said is attached are brief descriptions. The story is set in 1933, months before Prohibition is repealed. It mixes Greek gods and Prohibition moonshiners into a natural crime noir. Please feel free to experiment. I can't wait to see what you come up with. So here is the document. I'll just bring it over here so you guys can see it. And again, we're going in fresh here, okay? I tried to quickly breeze through these things when I got them. I do not remember them. And some context too. What I do with these are, at least for other people, when I do it for myself, I tack these a little different. But for other people, I like to do a front and back 3/4. I don't like drawing straight on; it's boring. At least when you get a 3/4, you kind of get a little fun in there. And I like to do 3 versions. So imagine Superman front and what he would look like on the back. Since, like, again, if it was for me, I don't need to go 100% in a lot of these things. I can just do this. But when these are for other people, I don't know how they're going to use these. Most likely it's for another artist. So I'm trying to think of another artist in mind. The benefit of the swatches too that we're going to pull, I know that we just did. They are already CMYK print approved, which is great. I don't have to worry about that. Plus, the next artist that gets on this, or the next colorist, or whatever, they know the exact colors that they need to use. If it gets picked, okay? JESOP, you're killing me here, man. Come on. Here, you want to come over here? Come on. Let's go. Alright, you got 2 spots to lay down, buddy. Here. Okay, so the first character here, I apologize for all this chaos going on here. Gotta love cats. Okay, so D, I guess, is the first character. Male, mid-20s, Caucasian, approximately 5'11", angular features, short hair. Obviously, some of these are more important than others. Like the mid-20s part, nah, we'll see. 1930s clothing, wool slacks, suspenders, button-up shirt. Carries an old moonshine jug in one hand, hanging low, arm fully extended by his side, and a round baseball-sized orb in the other hand. D cooks the moonshine and runs it still. So this is sort of like what I'm talking about, where things can get a little. I'm not quite sure what they were saying, because I know there's. He was talking about what was it, Greek gods. So unless I'm going to have to take in a little consideration of like context here, that the Greek god part is more, I would assume, part of the story as opposed to the design. Like in my mind, when I hear Greek gods, I'm thinking over the top muscles, superhero powers, that kind of thing. But it doesn't sound like that. Like this could be Zeus for all I know, right? Helen, okay, same kind of thing. Mechanic, driver, wears coveralls, jumpsuit, boots, carries tools, wrench in one hand, and a 12-sided polygon the size of a baseball in the other hand, like a D12 die. Okay, so this gives us our context here. So the next thing I'll do is, let me just move this over here. And I like to use a piece of software called Pure Ref. This guy here. It'll just look like a giant black box on your guys' screen. So I'm going to do D first here. And I'm going to use Snippet here. And what's really cool about this software is you can just click and drag artwork or anything else you kind of want, and it'll put it in like an editable file. Oops. Let's go here. With for that to disappear. Come on. Okay, just not going to do it. Alright, so we'll go here, grab that. Alright, and there's some things that we're going to need here, right? So next we just go ahead and grab up Google. So we got D here, angular feature, short hair, that's all easy kind of stuff. 1930s clothing. So I'm just going to go 1930s clothing. Now I'm assuming they both fit this bill. But what this does is this just lets me quickly, at a glance, kind of get, you know, boom, just click, drag this in. There we go. Now we're getting some artwork. And I'm not, again, sure if this guy's like more of the ritzier, wealthier side, or if he's more just like a generic kind of thing. But what's really cool about this software, again, wait, okay. I remember whenever I would do this middle mouse, it would mute. Anyway, so you can click on an image, you can organize things, right? Like these two, you can select those and go images, arrange, optimal, and it'll like put them in what it thinks is the best. But you can highlight things and just hit spacebar, and it makes it full screen, zoom in and out. You can change the size of things, right? Like that doesn't need to be that big. Just a very quick way that, like, what I like to do with a lot of this stuff is just very quickly go around online, and I'm just clicking and dragging from Google right into the doc, and it helps a lot. Yeah, she's not gonna. No, let's not do that. There's some girls that are coming up here too. Like this kind of thing, I think is really good. Get some line decker here. Suit fashion. I'm not sure if suit's really what he wants to do here. Let's see. Wool slacks, suspenders, button-up shirt. So it sounds like he's more in the casual wear. So maybe something like this. You know, that might read a little bit better. You see their pants. See, like I would never have thought of this, but like their pants almost look like they're tucked into the top of their socks, kind of thing. I don't know, like long shorts. But that might be a better direction for this guy, or even hell, this guy on the left. Right, this dude. You could like rip these looks. But anyway, so this is what we would do. And the next thing we got is a moonshine jug. So we're just gonna search for that. Now, luckily, this guy provided some reference for that, but you never know what you find. Just searching for yourself. It all looks pretty much the same, actually. Okay, cool. So that's done. So then we'll go over to Helen. Mechanic, driver, wears overalls, jumpsuit. Okay, so I'm just going to type 1930 mechanic. And I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of dudes doing stuff here, but I have to imagine women wear the same kind of thing. Could be wrong. Probably wrong. Alright, let's bring this guy in. Actually, let me save this real quick. Art. Yeah, exactly. Hero saying Greeks equals togas and sandals. Yeah, and that's not what we're doing here. Let me also just type female. Let's see if. Luckily, he found a picture too. Okay, I see the picture he found. What else we got? She looks kind of sad, this chick. Go there. Go here, something like that. Okay, so we got that. What else does she need here? There's coveralls, jumpsuit, boots. Okay, boots. We need boots. All these ladies don't have boots. This chick's doing something with her tire and sandals. Those coveralls are actually pretty long. Okay, what do we got? Alright, looking like generic boots. Okay, a wrench in one hand. It's a big ass wrench. Just in case, wrench. Alright, I just typed 1930s wrench just to. You never know. It's a big ass wrench coming in. There we go. Cool. Got a wrench. And what else we got? Alright, that's it. Okay, so I'm just going to take this, move it over to the other side of the screen. Now we're good to go. I'll get you guys back here. So I hope that makes sense. A little bit of the prep that goes into character design. We're going to start with D, the male dude. And first things first, we're going to rotate this thing. So we get more room this way to do some character design. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put front and back underneath of each other. We'll see how it goes. File, save as, and we'll call it D. Character design 01, because you never know. Alright, let's do it. It's the moment of truth. Now we get to draw. Let's go up here. Alright. Let's get some room. Alright, I like to use like this big sloppy brush. And again, like this guy's saying, he's 5'11", Caucasian. Euro, so if they're gods, maybe they're color schemes. That's just what I'm saying. I assumed gods. What he was saying, or they were saying, I don't know if it was a lady or a guy. It's like 1930s mixed with Greek. Did they say gods? Did I miss that? Am I just adding that? Yeah, I guess it mixes Greek gods and Prohibition moonshiners into it. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, it mixes Greek gods and Prohibition moonshiners into a supernatural crime noir. So I don't think these people are gods. I think they interact with gods that are around at that time. So if I had to imagine, it's probably able to tell a story for us through these people. So the main characters or whatever, they're humans. And they're interacting with gods. Could be wrong. Let me just check here. Wool slack, suspenders, tall, angular features. All right, so that's what we need to know: tall and angular features. What I do here, by the way, is we're just looking to. Here, I'll put the bottle or something in his hand. Oh. And a round baseball size orb in the other hand. Okay, so this hand we can put the orb or whatever, and then this one's got the moonshine. So what I'm looking to do is just create a naked body, and then we're going to put clothing over top. I just find it's easier that way, because we can still get the shape language kind of in there, and then we just copy and paste that. So you'll see me kind of working on that right now. Because the face, we can pretty much nail that. It'll be all right, I think. We'll kind of have him looking at us too. And I would argue, at least the way I approach this stuff, and it's probably not right, but in this stage, I'm more interested in getting the design down as opposed to perfect anatomy. Although I guess you could argue I don't really ever do proper anatomy. Because the way unless something is odd, like they have like a gigantic arm, right? Like maybe he has like this big beefy arm like this, then it kind of needs to make sense. But most of the time, artists that are getting on board, it's not just me, right? Like this is going to somebody else, and they'll be able to connect the dots through whatever the client here tells them to, right? Okay, he's getting a little long here. Bring him in a bit. When I hear young too, I feel like longer legs really help that. Just make them feel a little bit more like they're agile. And the thing, another thing that I'll add to this too is, I guess it depends on the level of storytelling you want to get in with the character design. For me, it's a big reason for character design, right? Like we can show things in here that really highlight or tell the story of the character. I would also argue though that I wouldn't say this is the first pass, but I can only work with what I was given. You should and you can always ask for more information and stuff. But this might be a way of looking at like costume design as opposed to full character design, perhaps. I think they're a little different and similar at the same time, different approaches. I'll put some weird kind of hand gesture. Let's go back here. I'm going to put something in there. Alright, so let's just back this up and take a look. Yeah, I think the body's fine. Imagine each gang group as a Greek god for a boss. That's what I'm seeing. So like Hermes gang, the Zeus gang, I don't know. No, see, that's what I'm saying. That kind of stuff changes a lot of what I would be approaching doing this. Since that wasn't given to me, I don't know if that's the case. And at the same time, a lot of, and this is, I think, a good example. This is a lot of what I would get for people asking for character design. They don't include, like, here's the script, here's the story. Very few do. I think it's very secretive a lot of the times. For better or worse. So if you're going to ask an artist to do that, I would suggest giving them as much information as possible, and then leave it up to the artist to kind of. It's up to them if they want to read that stuff to help things. I think it makes better designs overall. Cost usually comes in too, right? All right, so at least we get that V shape for this guy. Very typical superhero pose. Even though he's probably not a superhero, I'm still making superheroes. Okay. So I want to also just make sure that they fit. We have to shrink these guys up a bit. Another thing too, I wanted to talk about this and I forgot, is I argue that what you don't want to do with these things is make epic poses and stuff. Try to go simple and boring, focusing on all the areas that you would see on a costume. I think you get a lot more appropriate mileage that way. Because once you have this, you can print it out, you can leave it on your screen, or whatever, and then when you're drawing your guy, you can do all the posing, but you know where the intricate details go. That's all this is. This is more literally design. It's not look how cool I can draw. Let me show you guys an example of where we'll be going with this. And like I said, normally I already have a few, and I continually build this up of stock bodies for this kind of thing because it's just a generic human body most of the time. You can go, okay, that's a Superman body, that's the Hulk, and you can build up on that and change it as opposed to redrawing everything from the start. Let me just show you guys this one for Dan that we did. So here, you call it a style guide or whatever, but it's the same body, right? If I was, let's say this was an Avenger team I was drawing, right? Like I would adjust heights and stuff, but it's very easy to just sort of get a starting point. So you can see it does what I need it to do. If I needed to draw any of these characters in any pose, this is the base of what we would do, what I would need, right? So this is what we're going to be doing today, is this. The tricky part, obviously, is what this looks like, but this is the solid base. We're not looking for, I know I continually say it, super fancy artwork. I'm not trying to wow people with my art. That's not what this is for. Where did I have that? I thought I had maybe I put it in here. Uh, yeah, maybe we'll just go with Cintiq. Yeah, get a bit of life in there. PJ, sorry, is this for someone who is in the chat? No, this is a gig through Twitter. This one and a couple others that we're going to be doing today. Okay, so let me just make sure I got this here. Caucasian, yeah, whatever, 5'11", tall, angular features, short hair. Okay, and he provided a picture of the guy. I'm gonna it looks like a traditional Superman is sort of like how I would approach just his face. Sometimes, you can just kind of put dots or whatever. We'll see what we're going to do here. Let's make everything sharp. Give it a sharp cheekbone. He's got the superhero chin in the reference that I'm looking at over here. And I'm trying to use that as inspiration for it, but again, let me just put all this here into a folder, just so I can turn it off and quickly look. We'll give him, yeah, we'll do this. Give him that big old gaunt right in the side that everybody draws. Okay. Even the hair, I'm not going to worry about right now, because hairstyle we can change, help with design. A lot of times what people will do is they'll like, I like the costume of A, but I like the hair of B, that kind of thing, right? But you don't want to give people too many choices, because then they get in, you guys might, oops, that's a thick ass neck. You guys might experience this yourself. Analysis paralysis, it's called, where if you give too many options, people just don't know what they're supposed to do, and they feel like they're not making the right decision for them. So personally, 3 for me is like a good direction, especially. And I'm assuming this is a hero, even though he may not look that way up at the top here. But with 3, it kind of forces you to either hate or not like any of them easily, right? Or it makes you kind of look at it and go, okay, these are what I'm given. I'll pick that. And the less, and this just goes for working with other people in general. The less of a friction point you can be, the smoother and more enjoyable the whole process is, right? So again, here I'm just like quickly hammering in where anatomy would be. There's some wonkiness here. It's okay, right? This guy's gonna have a suit, whatever. It's just character design. It's not. This is the greatest drawing I've ever done. That's not what we're worrying about. Some people work that way. Some people do. You can do whatever you want. I would argue trying to go quick with this kind of thing forces you to make some calls that you might not have made before. Like in the ab area. You'll see. I always struggle with the back. Everything I draw is usually just like this. So it goes pretty quick, right? So there's some ab area things. I'll get his other shoulder in here. Okay. And like I say, we'll have something over here. As we redraw, we'll be redrawing parts of that there. All right, so let me just turn this off just so we can see them. Cool. So that's all we need, like I said, moving forward. So we'll go there. And the next step we got to do is the back. And this is where we get a little bit more. I don't draw a lot of characters from the back, so. All right, move this down here. All right, now if we flip this. No, sorry, my bad. So we have a back kind of coming in here. Like a shoulder. And let me see if I can lighten that up so we can see it a little bit better. Get some lats coming in. Gotta get some buns. Get our shoulder blades in there. And our neck. So it's the same but different. And I always end up screwing this up. Okay, so if I'm standing this way and I've got that in my hand, I go to the back, it's going to be on that side. So go here. Oops, what the hell am I doing? I'm going everywhere here. All right, let me just back this up. Turn that off. A little hard to see sometimes with some of these things going on. I think what we'll do, I'm trying to keep the body or parts of the body away from each other so that you can still see where things go in. If I put the elbow over here, it blocks a lot of the design. If that makes sense to you guys. This one, what I'll do is you'll see. I'm going to change this a little bit different from what we did over here on the left. Bring the arm out like this. We can still get the ball. We can still see it. Does that make sense? Okay. And you can see the back here that I'm doing is a little bit more rough. So, whoops. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tighten up some of those areas that were a little bit shoddy from what we did over here. So, put an ear in here. All right. Maybe we'll put the nose. So, do any of you guys in the chat, do you guys do this with any of your comics? I know I always say JESOP King because that's the only one that I've done that's my own. And I do this, and I've done this a lot for other people, but I noticed that when I went with JESOP, I'd drawn that character a lot, so I kind of knew him in and out. And when I went to do the comic, it was like, just jump right into it, let's go. I want to draw, right? And then I think it was maybe 4 or 5 pages into the project, I was like, okay, I need to back up, and then I ended up doing This, not the full or the full turnaround for some for JESOP, because there were some shots in the back like I never drawn him, and it's like, well, maybe I want like a big circle on his back. I don't know, and you don't want to. I realize his anatomy here is a little wonky, but it's okay. But I didn't want to have to make creative decisions on the page. There's already enough work that you have to do on a comic page, storytelling wise, that to also worry about doing character design. Um, I look at it this way, especially with comics, because comics take a lot out of you. At least they do for me. It depends on the stage you're doing it. If it's very early in a project, then doing the thumbnails and reading, like I said earlier, I hate reading scripts, but it's a necessary evil, right? Most of the time. And so the amount of effort and mental prowess it takes to break down a script into thumbnails, I usually don't do anything other that day other than just thumbnails, because I can't. It's a lot. So I try to think of it like, how am I spreading my time and mental energy through what's it called? Um, through the stages that it's in, and I don't know. I find if I'm able to do this early enough, it just get it out of the, because this is, to me, it's boring if you already know the design. Finding the design is pretty fun. Um, Personally. Actually, I wonder if we can, might have room to do three. Maybe I will do this. I'll just keep it kind of standard there. Is everything lining up kind of? There's grids you can add to this stuff too to make sure everything lines up. I'm not too anal about that. I've yet to meet a client that wants, like, no, what are you doing? This needs to be this way 100%. Okay, so there we go. We're good to go. I'm actually going to just add the moonshine and the ball of whatever the hell for now, since we're going to repeat this. Did the ball change hands? I don't think so. No, it should be okay. Might just be an optical illusion, or maybe my brain's. I try to act it out like I'm animating. So this first one, if I'm standing at you guys this way and the bottle's here, the back, it's going to be on the opposite side. All right. All right, so let's get that ball. What does he say? Just a what? And a round baseball-sized orb in the other hand. Well, I mean, if this guy's giving us the option to do Kirby dots today, who am I? I'm not going to get mad at him. Here, we'll go. Make it real simple. Boom, go there. Let's get our Kirby brush, yes. Love it. I know it's nothing. I just have a lot of fun doing this thing. All right, let's do it one more time before we have to put this away. Let's just grab a different brush here. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do this. Even though I said I don't think it's a good idea, I'm just going to push the other one on the other side here, just to make it just a little different. I would argue most design for characters, like, it's the front, because that's where you normally see, especially the face. And that's the other thing I was going to say. The way I draw the face here is just meant to show what he's saying. Angular, right? Like, so when you see that, in my mind, I see like that Captain America style chin, even though Captain America's got, when I draw him, again, like big fat neck and all that stuff, right? So the next artist that gets this, every artist has their own style. So they're going to take this and go, okay, I can draw it, whatever. These are the things like a sharp nose, the cheekbones, this. That's all I care about. I don't want people to go, oh, I need to draw it like the way that guy did it. I'm not trying to do that. I don't care about that part. Personally. Okay. So we got that. And then the last thing we needed to add was whoops, I'm in the wrong ones here. This thing. How big is it? A moonshine jug in one hand, hanging low. Well, it's not hanging low in this one, but All right, so let's get a center point kind of going on. And so he's got, okay, so it's actually on a handle, my bad. It's kind of something like this. A little bit thicker up here, it comes down and then wraps around. Why won't it let me? Oh, maybe. No. Let me try this. There we go. I know the curves are all getting messed up here. This is this is really effed up. This is just sort of like how I figure this stuff out. I know it's kind of getting wonky. And I'm going to come in here. Do something like that. Alright, so get a little cork. That's in a bowl. I'm just going a little tighter with this one because the design's not going to change on this guy. That's a bit higher than midpoint. Something like that. And then this gets a little bump on her. Knock that in. Get that going in there. There's like a logo. Oh yeah, this guy clearly doesn't mind drinking. I'm just going to put this on there just for me. Okay, and then we're going to go in here. A little handle for this guy right there. And we'll put the other handle there. I should also go ahead and draw this hand, since it's really not going to change. Something like that. It's the bottom. No. something like that. Okay, so we got our orb, we got our dudes. Cool. Alright, let me just combine all this stuff. Alright, let's merge it. Cool. Okay, so last thing is we go here. I'm just going to pick a gray for now. And then just fill this in as a selection. It just makes the mask easy to work with off the go. You'll see, like, this will most likely change once we get a costume on here. But it just helps. It's like everything else we're trying to do, speed it along. Try to find our, there we go. Okay, get that. Oops. Just trying to make sure all the holes here in the artwork are filled. Just makes it easier to fill it with a paint bucket that way. So you don't see what happened before where the whole background is filled in with the color. You switching spots, JESOP? Thank you, buddy. I'm so going to steal that chair in a second. Alright, should be good. Let's go back. Fill the holes up here. Alright, one last step here just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm just going to pick like a bright green. Fill it. Yep. Cool. Okay. So save that. Okay. Okay, so we got that. Let's just zoom out here. Whoops. So we got our dude. I'm just going to put all these in a folder and call it design. Just trying to prep everything here so you guys can kind of follow along if this is something you're into. So just duplicate that, and then we're going to change this here. So change canvas size. Actually, we might not need to. Oops. Should fit. We'll actually change it just in case, because sometimes you throw capes on people or something, right? Change canvas size. Okay, we're just going to open it a little bit more. And then I'm just going to shrink this up. Okay, guess not. Why, I'll do this later. I don't know why I don't want to fiddle with it right now, but I don't know why both sides are moving. Okay, so we've got both there. The next thing I would do is just grab black. I like to put it in red. Grab a brush, big fat one. Go with a Sharpie. And I will put like A, B. And the reason for this is once the client or whoever you're sending it, maybe yourself, they can quickly go, you can communicate, right? I like the front of B with the hair of C, that kind of stuff. And one last thing. What's this guy's name? D. There we go. Now it's fancy. All right, let's get into some actual design. How's that sound? All right. So we're going to lower the transparency, and I'm going to use the same Cintiq brush that we're using. That way the line art's all staying the same. Now we go into the real details here. So he's got short hair. He's got short hair. What's the reference he sent? Okay, a lot of these dudes do this, the slick. So we're going to keep that going. Keep her slick. A little part there. A little puff comes out. Boom. Knock that in. Nothing too crazy with the sideburns. Everything's nice, trim, and proper. Look at that. Let's go over here, click this. Wool slacks, suspenders, button-up shirt. Carries the moonshine in one hand, yeah. Alright, so normally when you're doing superheroes, you get a little bit more flexibility with design because you can start getting like weird shapes and stuff, right? When you're dealing with somebody that's got like real clothes, you don't get a lot of freedom. So what you can do is you can start changing things like patterns, color for sure, shape, those kinds of things. Little details, belt. That's about it. And I find a lot of times when it's like design a janitor, it's more the face and just the overall feel you get with the colors. So a lot of these guys, man, they rode this stuff up high. The slacks up here. Alright, so we got his pants. I think we're going to start with some pinstripe. But actually we can turn these two like this into some suspenders. So this is like, I guess, would be design right here. Like pants and a shirt, yeah, but like the style that the suspenders connect, that kind of stuff. Oop. Maybe what we'll do is we'll put like a little stripe in here too. So button-up shirt. This guy's giving me like a. Somebody doesn't. You know what? No, let's do it. So I'm trying to think of again things we can do to make these different. My initial reaction was this shouldn't be buttoned up, but it's a choice that I'll leave for him. The guy whose project this is, maybe he wants it buttoned up and he doesn't know it until he sees it, Get some folds in here. Nimrod John, I show a friend of mine the Butcher King. I know you still like the Butcher King. He should. I was trying to figure out how to get him in. Maybe book 2. He'll make an appearance. Designing you did the 3 ideas you had for it. My friend liked them. Oh, cool. Yeah. I forgot about that video. Forgot all about that one. Okay, we're missing anything here? Not just those slacks. They like this weird, long ass pants. They look super comfortable though. All right. Yeah, let's put a little ring on his finger. Why not? I don't know why. Maybe it's a story thing. Maybe he can work with that. And all right, the shoes I think we're okay with. Actually, just ripping what I already have there. Maybe we can just put like a little bit of shoelace on there. Oops. I keep flipping it too. For you guys that don't know what the hell why I'm doing that, if you flip it, you get your brain can look at it and see things like I can see right here. This isn't lining up right. Most likely because of the suspenders there, but I can bring this over a little bit to make it hopefully feel a little bit better. Even though I can see already that like his chest that I put is like right here, so it should be lined up with that. Let me just see something. But it still reads fine this way, so just like that. The other thing too is I'm left-handed, so when it's like this, when I need to see the stuff on the left and I'm drawing, my arm is literally covering all of it, so it's a little easier to go this way. Okay, so the back here, let's give him like the little... Some ruffles up here for his shirt.
Give him that ring. Okay, now all we need to do next is erase the liner we don't need. Yeah. Keep those sexy butt cheeks still in there. Alright, and then all we're going to do here is just go back and fill in this new stuff. And then we're going to do this 2 more times, and then we worry about color. That's it. So there's a lot of prep work for this stuff, but like I say, rarely I find that you can't repurpose a lot of this. Like once you draw that initial body, you can just reuse that over and over again. As soon as you get in your head that it doesn't have to be beautiful artwork, that's not what this is. The only thing is I have, like I said, a library of bodies that I can just use. But like I'll go back and I'll probably just redraw like a face. Or if people have like weird proportions, like a giant arm like I was saying before. Like this is a really wacky foot down there, but again, I'm not trying to make the beautiful stuff. It's just enough to give it to the next artist and go, cool, let's go. Make the next people that are on the project here, make their life easier. That's all you gotta do. Lawrence, welcome. Nimrod, I was just thinking of how fear influences art. Yeah, no, to what you're saying, yeah, I agree. I mean, emotions influence art, right? It just depends on the artist. For me personally, and I said this last week too, the art I like is escapism art. I don't really care about as much as possible, including like what's happening in real life, especially now, like current things, whether it's now or if this was a year from now or 10 years from now. I usually like to leave that stuff out. That way, if people don't want to think about it, they can just go, okay, let's just look at some art, read a comic or whatever that has nothing to do with what's going on outside. Just me though. Escapism. That's where the fun's at, man. Like I'm just trying to contribute to entertainment, I guess, in whatever way I can, so people don't have to think about it while they're trying to not think about it. You know what I mean? You can't escape the day. You gotta check the news or whatever. It's gonna always be there. When the kids go to bed or whatever's going on, you want to do something not related to the world. That's what I'm about. That's what I like. Cool. Okay. So that guy's done. I was trying to think. Maybe we should do like a quick shadow pass. Yeah, let's do it. We'll add just a little bit more work for ourselves, but I think it'll make it just feel a little bit better. We're doing the simplest of shadows. This is more for, you'll see. And what I'm doing is I'm just laying these down. Once the color's in, all the color will be affected by this. Alright, so we got a ball of energy here. Long time, brother. Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Thank you. So your character design is getting more complex. Oops. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to keep it simple. But I appreciate it, man. Thanks. And the other thing too is when you're adding shadow, like I'm doing, and I mean it's very gross and simple, to your character design sheets like this, you got to be real careful because if I went like this, let's say the whole shoe shadow color, you don't know what the actual color is of the shoe, so you got to make sure anything that's a new color can't be affected, because ultimately this just makes it feel better, and that's why I'm not. You know what? Now I'm saying it. I might just let's just not do it. Let's keep it clean. Like again, this is adding it a little step to it to make it feel cooler, and it shouldn't be. Okay. Stay focused. Let's not do it. Okay, let's keep going. Time is it? 9:40. Okay, so let's find a different haircut here. Short hair. So I'm thinking let's actually just keep it on the head, like it's that slick. Now they didn't say anything about facial hair, so I'm not going to add that. I think you usually know if you want your character to have a mustache or not. What we got? Okay. See something in this reference that could be pretty cool. Okay. Just go thinner on these ones. So what I saw was somebody had, I think this might be a neat touch. Little thing for the time. And then this guy we're definitely going to let the collar down a bit. They actually say long sleeve. Maybe we can put them in a t-shirt too. Suspenders button-up shirt. Okay. That is a design element. Let's do it. Get to show his guns a little bit too. And I think what we'll do is we'll put a pattern on this one. But in my mind, I'm trying to vocalize what I'm thinking of doing here. Wondering if we leave the pattern stuff for just color instead of adding like a whole bunch of line art. Do you know what I'm saying? Might be better. I saw a picture. They got these long ass socks. So we'll go ahead and we'll add a pattern on that one too. Oops. We're not done yet. Forgot about the other side. Little curls at the back here. Oh, that one was easier on the other. The backside was a little easier. Sleeves rolled up for business. Business. Okay. We're almost there. Yeah, let's fill it in. And we got one more. Hey, great now. How's it going, brother? Also, what are you guys up to today? What do you guys? How's it going with whatever you're doing on in your world? Whatever is going on in your world. Wow, I got metal in the eardrums right now. It's advancing my stutter. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to check, jam them in the chat too. I know I'm just busy doodling here. Normally, when I'm doing a lot of the creative part, I know it's just literally dressing a skeleton or a naked guy right now, but my brain's all devoted to what if this shape or adding this kind of thing, so I don't ramble as much. Or like right now, I can just freely talk when we're doing color or literally drawing inside the lines kind of stuff. Raphael, how's it going, brother? Finish some pages for this week. Nice, dude. I still have a message here or a note to reach out. Well, I don't know if it's the way the week's panning out and yesterday and all that stuff. Maybe it'll be next week if you're free. We'll shoot the shit. Okay, we got 2 down. So they already look different to me anyway. They feel like they tell different stories, each of them. And that's all we're looking to do. Let's add just a little wrinkle. Alright, so we got one left. What I like to do at this point is kind of... I got my reference. And... Oops, actually, that shouldn't go there. Let's get rid of his wrist a bit. So it doesn't look like he's got like a armband on. So what I want to do here for the last one is see if there's anything we can add that we don't have in the other ones. So, you know, we got the shirts. We'll add like patterns in that. Maybe there's something we could do for... Actually, let me just quickly look for 1930s suspenders. Might find one that's got like a cool look to it. Or something we're missing. Yeah. That's interesting. Alright, we'll definitely use this one. We'll just pull that reference in. Whoa. And see what else we get. That wouldn't work. A little bow tie, maybe? Little. He didn't say anything about a tie. Maybe we could try that. Okay, so those pants just wrap around and then got that. Did we do that on this one? Kind of. Okay, 1 second, guys. So instead of a belt, we could put the... like that. Oh, how do we go with those ones? Yeah, we'll bring those down. It's making it look a little complicated. The back will have something pretty slick. Well, I think it's slick. I don't know if it's actually slick. Okay, that works out, Raphael. Just let me know then when your internet's good to go. Whoops, reference. All right, let's see if we got any extra hair. Need hair. Now we could try that. So get that part over here, and then it's like a slick. Sadly, there's not too much we can do with this here. So I think a lot of the design here is going to be just from the pattern on the shirt. Feels a little Western, you do it that way. Okay. All right. So I saw these suspenders in the back. They look kind of cool to me. It's like the suspenders are the design of this guy, man. Like, oh, just give me 1 sec, you guys. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Hey, Mom. How's it going? So stupid. I actually forgot that there's the girl we have to do after this, too. Also, usually what'll happen is rarely when you send designs to somebody like this, they'll just take it and go, perfect, you nailed it on this one. Like I said earlier, they like bits and pieces of them. So once I get that, I usually combine them in the exact same way we're doing it right now, where you're drawing, and then send that off and you're done. You can always dream, one day you'll get that rare. Yeah, that's the design right there. Thank you. You always hope for that, though. Okay. I think what we'll do too is we'll color this one before we go into the woman. Might help make our color choices a little easier. Usually, when you got a group of characters, you don't have to, but it's especially if they're on a team or something, have similar colors spilling over, so that they look like they're connected. So if we get this guy's colors locked in, or at least a version of them, I know they're going to be different on each one. We might be able to pull them a little easier.
All right. Okay, good. We got these. Let me just duplicate this so I can get some proper color going. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to bring up our color wheel we made. I'll turn the color wheel on. I'm just going to reduce it though so it's not as... So there's a hint of it anyway. Okay, so for skin color, I guess we could kind of go... Just wondering if we make them all the same or kind of change them up. Maybe we'll roll with it this way, just to see it for now. Alright, so this first guy. Yeah, there's more patterns, but not really colors that I'm seeing for reference. We'll see here. So we'll go the traditional, like, hero with this first one. With, like, the gold hair. Pick a blue or something. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Maybe like Deadly saying going from like lighter to darker. The guy said, I'm pretty sure he said he's a white dude. It's just, I guess, the shade of white you want to go, right? We'll see. Alright, so if we're going to go, maybe we go muted primaries, like white, yellow, blue we're kind of going on. Or not white, yellow, blue. Red, yellow, blue. So we'll just bring in like some muted blue for his pants.
Yeah, we'll try like a muted. Red for the shirt. This way we can get a nice bold yellow or something for the suspenders. Maybe. Maybe just pull the same yellow. Let's try it. Okay, so we got a couple colors left. Usually you can go into grays and stuff for that, but let's get a brown for his belt. And for those coming in a little bit later, what I'm doing here, these colors that I'm picking, these swatches, they're from like the 90s Marvel Comics color swatches. So it's just, I'm trying to incorporate just using just these to see what we can get moving forward with color. We'll bring in some white for this. How does that look? Maybe. Now there's a jug. What was that? I know he already gave me a reference for that. That was this. It's like a gold and white. Alright, so we're not just always grabbing brand new colors all the time. We'll try to use colors we've already used. Something like that. Alright, and his boots we'll just pull from the same brown. Now the energy ball. Just pull yellow in, I guess. Something like that. Cool. I'll say using the swatches this way makes it makes it a lot easier to just color pick for sure. Should we add like a pattern in this though? Maybe a stripe. So this looks purplish, even though I know it's not. It's red. Maybe we can bring in a red. Yeah, I'll try this for some stripes.
That yellow is very punching you in the face. Let's try maybe bringing it down a bit to gold. Whoops. That's a little better. Okay. So just got to repeat that. Okay. Kind of like the, you know what, like those brown pants. Yeah, see ya. See you later. I think I might just stick with the brown slacks here. Makes it a little easier to. Yeah, I like that better. We're just going to lighten this one up here so it doesn't clash with the pants as much. Okay. Now we get this here. Got to add a stripe into that suspenders too. I missed that. Okay, one down. This dude feels a little bit more cold. Number B here. Number B.
Alright, so we're gonna go with like darker hair here.
Something like that.
Alright, so this guy could be probably a lot of blues. Well, the brown slacks seem to just work for everybody. Maybe what we'll do for that is the same hair color here. So we'll go, oops.
Something like that. Oops.
I think we'll pull the same brown here, this dark one, for the belt. I'll also use that for his shoes.
Red, yeah. Okay. This one's got a little bit of cold to him, which is good. We got to put I wanted to put some socks on him from at least the stuff I'm looking at. It looks like they have like some patterns we can drop in there. What do we want to go with? We got the cold. Maybe we'll keep going a little darker with it. Something like that. Then we'll bring in some more of that blue. Patterns. Yeah, something like that works. think you prefer the mid one before the colors? Yeah. I think he's got a little bit more attitude than the other ones. The other ones feel maybe a little bit too. Without the context of the story, it's tough, you know. I think if we bring in the same blue for the suspenders, how's that? Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Just keep the blues in there. And again, I have no idea what's going on with this energy ball, so I'm just gonna keep it. The same as the other ones here. Okay, let's get these patterns in here. Okay. It's funny without like I want to go in there and add like one last like a shadow pass, but let's keep this guy going. It's easy to get distracted with this stuff. Okay, so what aren't we doing that we can do for colors with this last one? What do we got? Maybe with this dude we can go even more muted. More like grayish. As much as I dislike that. Let's try it. Maybe we can bring a little bit of green. Let's try it. Go green pants, maybe? Maybe. Green and this beige stuff is hard to get away from. Maybe we could also use the same color from the shoes for this here too. Looks a little military with this stuff, eh? We keep bringing it up here. We'll bring a nice thick brown here. Whoops. For his hair. How's that looking over there? Let's get some yellow in here. I think that'll help. Just a little detail. I think we'll get a pattern in there too, but do this first. Some pants. Just trying to see something here. Yeah, maybe. I feel a little businessman-y like this with all the yellow. I think what might be better is if we darken that. This cat is snoring so bad. It's funny. You put some color on the collars and stuff, and he looks like he has more money. I don't know how poor this guy's supposed to be. Or if he's supposed to be rich, I'm not sure. Alright, let's put this back up here. We're almost at the finish line. For one character anyway. How long has this been going? It's alright. Okay. Let's do these little energy balls and then we're all set for this guy. There's like one or two more things I just like to add just to make them pop a little bit. Not the character, but just the design. I also need to do little swatches next to it too, in case any of these fortunately get picked up as yes, that's the look we want. Put this here. Hey Lars, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. Okay, so here we go. Let me see if this will work this time. Change canvas size. Edit. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I don't care about the crop marks here. Okay, so do this, and then add one of these boys. Gradient, foreground to transparent. something like that, just to make it look like they're on the ground. And then the last thing. I think that's it. Yeah, we don't need the energy ball. Cool. So again, that's just for anybody else when they're going for it, they can just pick those colors. It's easier. Oh, man. What color am I missing here? That one. Same color. We got the same, roughly the same amount of colors. So, all right, let's save that up. Just want to try one last thing before moving on here. Where's this guy's shirt? I just wanted to see if we were to switch these colors, how that would look for his shirt. Oops. A nice bright red shirt with the dark pin. I think I like that one better. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I hope it does well for Kyle. It'll be great. Seems like he's I think you're in a good place when you blow past your funding goal before the day's over. Your day one, so that's good. Okay. Pixels, width. Let's change that to 1500. See how that looks. Seems so much brighter over here. Yeah, 1500 will work. Yeah, nice bold red shirt. That's better. That's okay. So just to recap here, let me just export this here, and then I'm actually gonna sign off for today. I know these ones are a little bit less impactful. I would argue this kind of thing is more for showing how long something could or does take somebody, and maybe some thought process for this stuff. It's not really the meat and potatoes of comics, I guess. It's the unflattering reality of character design and stuff like that. Okay, so the first one here, trying to think along the lines of, like, I guess a traditional superhero. The only real color that would be missing is blue, for like a Superman look. But we got the nice bright blonde hair, blue eyes, bold red. I think that was a really good decision at the end there, just to switch it up instead of having red stripes to make the actual shirt bold and red. Again, I'm not sure if this is like a Superman style character, not in terms of power, but like hero, like typical hero. But I think that plays that up well. This one, we went with a little bit more of a, I guess the easiest way to keep doing this if we're going DC characters would be more of like the Batman vein. Somebody that doesn't want to be in the light, doesn't want a lot of attention on them. Very subtle tones. And then this last one, let's just go with a green, bring in a more earthy tone. I think this guy feels more like a normal person, maybe more in line of like a detective kind of feeling too. Earthy kind of tones and stuff. But personally, I like either A or B, depending more on what the actual story is and stuff like that. How long do you think it will take you to do all of the art? Oh, I'm not even sure, man. I don't even know what all the art is just yet. Kyle sent me and I haven't had a chance to read it yet, a document that he's blocking out chunks of text and then what he's going to need for art. So he sent a piece, or not a piece, but like a good decent chunk of that. I just haven't had a chance to flip through it yet. I finished that one up. I've got this, and I think 3 or 4 more character designs for people that reached out 2 weeks ago, around there. So looking to wrap those up. And then I think it's just back into Worlds in Peril. I don't think there are Galaxies in Peril. I'm not quite sure what the workload looks there. And the deliverable date, I have to double check some of those details, but we are leaving it open a little bit because I do definitely want to start making some headway on Godslayer as well. That's still in the plot stage, but most of my time is drawing, right? So getting the personal project stuff it'd be nice to be able to do that, but I gotta keep checks coming in as much as I can. So other people's projects for now keep getting the limelight. That's the way it goes. Anyway, thank you everybody that participated in here. And again, like I said, I realize these kinds of videos aren't, get asses in the seats kind of thing, but I do believe that they are worth doing from time to time. There's a lot of creative people that do this gig or would like to and don't know or haven't tried doing this kind of thing just yet. So whether it's writing or character design, that kind of stuff. It's not comic books, but you definitely use it in comics, so it's very nice to see. And I'm just going to do a quick plug once again that we did at the start. I closed everything. I didn't know that I did that. 1 second here. Our good friend Freddie Williams, he posted a Facebook. I don't think he tweeted. He may have tweeted. But he brought this up, so I wanted to share it with you guys too. A lot of the workflow that I tend to do with comics, which we won't be doing more than sure with Godslayer. But that being said, if you're familiar with the channel, a lot of the auto actions and stuff that I use in Clip Studio, they're available through Freddy's site. So just check out freddyart.com and go over here to the tutorial section. And right here, you're looking for DigiArt Quick Tools. Click that. And if you're a Photoshop user, what you can do is just scroll down. Once we load, there we go. These are the action pack is what you want for Photoshop. And he's got a video showing you how to install and what they all do. So even if you don't buy this stuff, if you're even remotely interested in it, I highly recommend at least checking out the video, skimming through it, see if it's got some value for it. Or you can do the one where I took his action pack and repurposed it and added a couple things for Clip Studio that I use. And that's right here. You can just click that. It says Clip Studio, Manga Studio. And it's the same thing. A video taken to my channel, as well as some of the stuff that I'm doing, and yada, yada, yada. So there's that. And then I'm going to wrap it up and just try to promote Kyle's Kickstarter here for Galaxies in Peril that we'll be doing some artwork on the channel for. So you can scroll through here and see the beautiful cover and all the good stuff. So if you like Dungeons and Dragons with superheroes, at least that's what I keep pitching it as. I haven't personally played the game, but it's a tabletop RPG. Make a hero, have a dungeon master kind of thing, tell a story through superhero kind of thing. And from what I hear, the gameplay system's pretty simple. It's meant more for telling story as opposed to getting stuck in the minute details, I suppose, that a D&D style thing might have. But anyway, I'll let you guys flip through here and check out all the cool stuff there. So thank you guys. I appreciate everybody popping in. And until tomorrow, keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.